Hello and welcome to our today's webinar. My name is Anna Ogunuse and I will be your host for the webinar. The topic for today's webinar is Easy Project Help Desk. So today we will be looking at connecting mailboxes to Easy Project, project settings, and the dashboard. And I'll also show you some how to navigate in your help desk and also where you can find more information. Because help desk is quite a vast solution for you. So there's a lot of nitty-gritties that you need to go through for the settings. So today we will just give you like an idea on how it works in general. And if you want a bit more information, I'll show you where to find it. If you have any questions during today's webinar, please feel free to use the question and answer feature, which is in the toolbar at the bottom of the screen of your webinar screen, and I will get your questions either through the webinar as we go or at the end of the webinar. So before we dive into the settings, how to do what, there is something you need to consider before starting your help desk projects. So depending on whether you want to have a single project for all tickets or different help desk mailboxes or even have special project for different clients, you need to decide about the structure of your help desk projects first before we can start any configuration and settings. So why is that, or what do you need to take into consideration? Well, either you will have one project and all the tickets that will come will be created under one project, or you can have several projects, which means there are several things that you should consider, such as if you sell several services or several products to your clients, it's better to have several projects. So like us, Easy Software, we have several projects, so several products. So for each product, we have a project on its own, simply just to keep it neat, keep it more organized, and keep it more transparent, and everyone can see straight away which project or which ticket is under which project, under which product. Also, you can you should take into consideration if you, for instance, offer premium support services, then you can have a separate project for that. So if your clients pay extra to get the support services faster, you can have a several projects. So if you want to have a single project for all tickets, so if you are only going to have one project which gather email from a single mailbox, so then it's pretty easy. Then you can also have one mailbox and more help desk projects. So all emails received go into a general project, but if you have one client who has a special project or special condition, those are processed into a special project, which means that you can actually have like also a sub-project. And you can also have the more mailboxes. So there are like ways how you can be sorting out the tickets. Either it can be sorted out like if you have the special clients, it can be sorted out by the sender, by the person. We will have a look at that. Or if you have more mailboxes and no special clients, then emails can be sorted according to the mailbox, not according to the sender. So this is something to think about before you start, before you go into the configuration. And now let's have a look at connecting Mailbox to Easy Project. So once you have figured out how you want to create the structure of your help desk, the help desk projects, now we can start with the actual setup. And to have your Easy Project process mailboxes, they need to be connected in the following way. And to do so, we will go to Administration, which is in the menu more Administration. Then we go down to Help Desk. Or you can also access it simply through menu more and HelpDesk. And we will click over here on all mailboxes and add a mailbox. So first of all, when we are adding a mailbox to our HelpDesk, we have to enter valid credentials of your mailbox, which would be the host, the user, the password, and then we test it. Make sure you test it so you can see that Easy Project can actually access that mailbox. And then there are some attributes over here, such as active, which is ticked by default. That means that Mailbox is scanned regularly by Easy Project for new unread messages. If you untick it, so if you disable it, Easy Project won't scan that mailbox, but you can keep it there for future use. So simply it means that active, it's in use. If you untick it, it's something that the HelpDesk is actually not using at the moment, but you can reactivate it in the future. Then there is this box which says use different sender. So when user on the mail server is not the same as the mailbox, then enter the valid mailbox which is represented by the user. Then SSL, you will take it if you want to use SSL certificate on your mail server. Folders to read is if you want to use Easy Project to check only certain folders in your mailbox. So you will put that here. And then that's connected with these two. So if success move to, if an email is processed correctly by Easy Project, which means that a ticket has been created based on that email, it will be moved into that folder. And if an email is processed incorrectly, meaning a ticket has not been created, it will be moved into another folder. So after you test the connection, make sure you save it. And then we can go into settings of frequency of mailbox scanning. So I will simply go back because we already have some mailboxes set up over here. So to look at the settings, we would click over here and settings. So now we are back to the mailbox settings, but with additional settings. So we can see a little bit more than just this piece that we saw earlier. So by default, this setting is set to 5 minutes, which means that the mailbox would be checked every 5 minutes. But in general, we actually recommend to have the settings around 10 minutes because if you have, especially if you have many mailboxes connected to Easy Project, so if you have one or two like we have now, that's fine, you can have it every 5 minutes. But if you have more, we recommend slightly greater intervals, such as 10 minutes, because then this automatic scanning task may take a bit longer and it can overload the server if the scans of the new emails are too frequent. And then it would actually slow down the whole application. So that's why. So this is the important piece. And if we go back to the list of the mailboxes, when you click on the settings, you can also see that this few more options, such as execute, which means that you execute is a button that allows you to manually start the mailbox scanning. So if you want to do it in between the intervals that you have set up. In history, you can view the past mailbox scanning, and deactivate means that you will deactivate automatic mailbox scanning. which means that actually the mailbox won't be active, which we spoke about a minute ago. So now that the mailbox is connected and scanned by Easy Project, but we actually haven't set where should the tickets be created. So before a project is connected to HelpDesk, tickets cannot be created because in general, every task requires a project naturally. So first of all, we have to have a default project for a mailbox. And to do that, we will go in all HelpDesk projects. And if you want to add a new project, we would click on Add a Project. This means that the project, when you are adding a project, it must be a project that has already been created. So first you actually have to create the project itself in order for you to be able to add it to the to your help desk. And what's important here is to select the project that you want to add, and then also select the mailbox. I will show you on one of the existing ones. Oh, let's do it this way. We will select a sample project. And we have to, when we add a project to our help desk, we have to choose the mailbox for which the project would be default. So it'll only show you the mailboxes that are not connected to any projects yet. So this is pretty easy, and then we can click on Save. We will have a look at the complete explanation of the HelpDesk project settings of all these attributes a bit further on. If we were adding a project for a special client, then we would actually we would select a project, any project really, but we wouldn't be adding the default domain, the default mailbox, sorry, but we would more focus on this part, which means that we would set some keywords. So if the mail subject contains the defined string, like one of these keywords, the ticket will be assigned to this project. So it can be the name of the company, for instance. So in this case, as I said, we won't be selecting any mailbox if it's a project for a special client. Mails, domains, and keywords are processed into this project. All settings are with or operator, which means that it'll either do it based on the domain. So you can here put the company domain or the subject of the email. So and whichever one of these it'll detect when the ticket is received. So let's now have a look into the details of the project configuration. And we can always do it under when we have these the projects over here, we will click on the edit. Or you can also do it under when you have the project open itself. For instance, if you access it from Global Account, you would go under Settings, and over here you click on Help Desk. So this is two ways you can access the same place, the settings. So let's go through these, the attributes in the settings, the things that we can set up over here. So such as task type. So new ticket in this project will be created with the task type. We can choose which task type. Naturally, most probably you will choose the help desk one. Of course, this depends on the settings of what task types you have set up and you have available within your easy project, and which ones are switched on within the project that you use in your help desk. Then assignee. So new ticket, assignee says which user the new ticket will be assigned to. You can leave it blank, which means that you will just have it on your dashboard, and then people, when the tickets come in, your help desk workers, they can take it. Or you can, if you have just one or two users, you can choose which user in particular should work on this. Then also you can choose actually co-workers, because you know that on any task you can have co-workers. So which means that if you choose the co-workers, the new ticket in this project will have these co-workers. You can actually choose multiple co-workers and multiple groups. Then let's move to automatically update tickets when they are. So this really depends on your workflow. There may exist some tickets which are resolved or being kept open. For such case, you can set automatic closing for the tickets according to the status and duration of non-update. As you can see over here, so over here it means that if a ticket is in status on client and there has been no update within 5 days, so the client hasn't come back to us within 5 days, then the status of the ticket will be changed to done, and there will be no changes assigned. You can actually add such automatic updates. You can have several of them. Then we will go to contractual help desk monthly hours. This settings should be used for special clients project. So if someone paid you for like a premium support, they have a priority support that they pay for. So then you have here the number of hours that they have paid for, and then when your workers are working on the task, on the help tickets, as they are logging spend time, it will be deducting the time from here. Remaining hours are showing us, of course, how much hours from the ones that they have prepared are left. We can actually, with this edit or reset button, which is the pen button over here, we can manually clear remaining hours and set them to 0. Aggregate start date is when the prepaid period begins, and aggregate period is for what a period are after what period it will be reset. So if it's resetting quarterly, half yearly, or yearly. Then we have a bit on SLA settings. This is an important metric of any helpdesk project, but especially for special clients where SLA violation may be sanctioned. So tickets may be created by email or directly from within the system by the client, special restricted access to helpdesk project. So then you have the SLA settings, where again we have some attributes that you can have a look at, such as, you can see that there's quite a few. I will show you in a bit where you can find like details information of the SLA. because there is quite a bit into it. So it would take a bit too much time if we were looking at this right now, because there's even events, reports into it. And so let's continue further into mail settings, header and footer. So this setting concerns HelpDesk email communication, because you know that when you are updating a ticket, which I will show you a bit later, and you are sending an email to you have an option for internal communication on the ticket just with your colleagues, or you can be sending an update to the client, which means that there will be an email that will come out. So you can customize emails from different HelpDesk projects, especially if you are managing various products with various brandings. So then we would click on change header for this project, and you can add a header, so such as easy project or anything, and then the same thing we can do with the footer as well. So you would just be adding the branding in case you have several products, and for each product you have a separate HelpDesk project. So we continue to alert settings. And alerts are used in order to prevent SLA's violation. There's possibility to use automated alerts, which notify us about some problems in the delayed tickets. And we have here several tick boxes and also a list of alerts. So that would be then we have the, yeah. So that would be it for here. And now we'll have a look at what I mentioned before, which is actually updating tickets and sending an email out. So we'll be writing a reply to a client and updating the ticket. And to do so, we would go to our HelpDesk project and see the task that we have over there. So we can either do it directly in the project itself, or when we go to our HelpDesk, where we'll find the HelpDesk dashboard. On the dashboard, we will have a list of, for instance, new tickets or assigned tickets. So let's have a look at the new tickets. And you work with the HelpDesk ticket the same way pretty much as with a normal task. So first of all, we would click on update. We can put it on ourselves. We would, when we are sending, and so there are two ways to update a ticket. You can either consult something with your colleague, or you can send an email out to a client. So first of all, let's send an email out to a client. So we would first change the status to on client, because from now on, once we save the update of the ticket, it will be on the client. Email to is the email of the client that it will go to. We can log in the time, how much time we have spent updating this ticket or resolving it. And then over here, we can already prepare an email for the client. Hello, John. Thank you for your email. This is to inform you that we have found a solution, blah, 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 blah. And then we know, then we would have a look at the bottom. Over here, we can also add pictures from a clipboard or add any attachment. If we clicked on private comment, this is actually to be used if you are having an internal communication on the ticket with one of your colleagues, because private comment means that it won't load into email communication with the client. Don't send notifications, but when you are sending an email out, we actually want to click here, send email to a customer. And when we click on save, it will take us to the next step, where we can choose a mail template. If we have several mail templates, you can see that right now we have some branding over here. We can also send a copy, and because the mail sender is a person who is assignee on the ticket, then by default over here we would have a signature of the person. And to set up the signature, we actually have to go to our profile. And when we click on edit, so every person who works on HelpDesk should do this. Then over here we have mail signature. So we would just copy and save the mail signature here, which means that when you are replying to a project, so you can even also already save like best regards, blah, blah, blah. Then your name, your position, the website, social media, etc., your phone number, and it would appear over here. So over here, you can actually edit the body of the email. You can also, again, add some attachments or delete attachments, delete some previous comments or emails that have been sent, and then you simply send an email. And this way, now when you look at the ticket, how it has been updated, we can see that now the ticket is on a client. There is an assignee. So if we receive an update or a reply from the client, the assignee will be notified. This is actually the ticket body, what the person has sent us. And we can see that this is the update I've created, and and here we can see that we actually sent out an email to the person as well. So if we go back to our help desk, help desk dashboard, let's have a look at some tickets that are already assigned to, that we are already working on. So right now we can see that it's assigned to a worker, which means that the worker is working on it. You can also add some estimated time, how long it will take you. Again, as we said, this is the body of the email that the person has sent. And if you want to consult our colleague on it, we would click on update. We would change it to a colleague's name, consultant. We can put it in progress or keep it as assigned to a worker. Oh, hello, Connie. Can you please have a look at this? Thanks, Anna. And because it's an internal communication, which we never want the client to see, over here we would click on private comment and save. This way you can see that the status of the ticket has changed, the assignee has changed. And over here we'll see that this update is private. What does it mean? That when Connie replies to us and we want to create an update, so I'll put it on myself back, and I'm sending an update to a client. Hello, here is an update. Then send an email to a customer. The update that I have sent to Connie is not showing here. However, if I did it differently, and I would create internal update, not sending it to a client, but I forget to check check this, tick this checkbox, the private comment, and save it. And then I would click on update again and send out an email to a customer. And save. We can actually see here also the update from the customer that is loaded here. So all the communication actually between you and the customer, anytime you exchange emails, it'll always load here as for you, like for the future reference, for the history on the ticket. Also, if you actually close the ticket, because for instance, the customer has not come back to you, and then the customer sends an email with the same exact subject, the ticket will be reopened. If they change the email subject, usually you can also set up like a ticket ID, but if they change it or miss it or just anyhow edit the subject, it'll be opened as a new ticket. And if it comes back with the same email with the same subject, then you will be notified because you were an assignee on the ticket, and if not, naturally it will come to the help desk as unassigned, and one of the help desk workers can pick it up. Let's have a look at another setting within our help desk, which is email templates. So if we go to our help desk and click on email templates, what are email templates? So basically, it's like automatization of the communication with the client, and they are configured per mailbox. So you can't use a template that you use for one mailbox to another. If you want to create a new mail template, so this is what an existing template looks like. So it'll be showing that this is the name of the template. And then you are pretty much using these tokens to create a body of the mail. So you can already pre-fill as in hello, the number of the name of the person, sorry, user signature at the end, so it would be automatically filled up, the priority. So you would simply, if you want to create an automated email template, you would start typing this way. So it would be hello, author. Thank you for your ticket. With the subject. And then you just keep going this way, which means that all these tokens, they will be replaced with the particular data from that task or help desk ticket. So this is the existing one. And as easily you can create a new one as well. So you would put a name, you would choose which mailbox to use it from for the subject, and then you will create the body of the email. Let's have a look at the HelpDesk settings, which will be the last piece of our webinar. So once we are again back on the HelpDesk dashboard, there's HelpDesk settings over here. And under HelpDesk settings, we have several options such as sender. So who is this sender? So it can be the current logged user, the assignee, or default from mail notification or mailbox address. Enable updating task attributes. So if it's ticked, it is possible to change a certain attribute of the ticket by email. For instance, by writing priority high, the mail body, you will change the priority accordingly. So the customer can actually do it this way. If we have the ignore CC of received emails, then if this is ticked, then the emails in the CC are not processed. Change status after clients respond. So anytime you receive a response from a client, it would change status of the ticket automatically if they reply to the email you have sent. And then this is regarding SLA. So as I promised, I want to show you where you can find actually more information regarding the HelpDesk settings. To do so, we would go to our website for Easy Project, and under Services, you go to Training Center and Documentation. Under Documentation, we would choose HelpDesk. And this is the bit that we've been going through today. So basically everything I have covered today is over here and a bit more than that as well. Especially there's the detailed SLA settings. So as you can see, it actually the SLA settings, it starts here and it goes quite a bit. So you can have a look at that. You can also sign up for our future webinars on the Services Training Center and webinars. So we will have Easy Project diagrams and DevOps. In 2 weeks' time, you can watch the recording of our past webinars. And then just to let you know, HelpDesk is a solution that is part of our third package, which is platform package. This is the option for a cloud. So if you want to use HelpDesk, you have to have the platform package. You can choose how many users you wish to have. You can choose the subscription period. The longer the period, the lower the price per user. And I have also input here actually a 15% discount code, so which is valid for the next 7 days. So if you go to our pricing page, and actually this would work for any of the 3 plans that you can choose from. So note this discount code and you can get a 15% discount on your purchase. So I can see that we actually don't have any questions right now. I will keep it up and running for another couple of minutes should you have any questions. And meanwhile, thank you so much for your attention. I hope you got a good idea about how HelpDesk work and how it can actually make your how the stick is processing easier and how you can implement it within Easy Project and within your company. So thank you so much for your attention, and I wish you good luck with your projects.